Hi there and welcome to another episode of This Week in F1. Max won despite illness. Not a Red Bull fan I am, but their tactically superior performance in Austen was a masterclass. And now to top it off, it seems that Max, Super Max was actually ill during the superb driving class he gave us. Helmut, the main man, as long as Mr. Mateschitz allows him to be, Marco, has confirmed that both Max and Tom Cruise Perez were actually ill with stomach problems at Austen. Perez's issues were made worse because his drink system failed, but apparently Verstappen's issue was such that at one stage during the race, at one point it went completely black in front of his eyes, said Mr. Marco. Wow, Verstappen sure isn't Mr. Personality, especially with the Drive to Survive stuff that he's now boycotting, but much respect to the man. He pulled off a masterful performance under apparently very testing circumstances. Joss's boy did good. Ferrari ahead in fight for third. This troubles my McLaren supporting heart. After Ferrari finally got their engine upgrades that they've been promising for ages, they had a double points finish at the Circuit of the Americas and were giving the boys in the papaya all their troubles. Leclerc finished more than 20 seconds ahead of potential Colgate spokesperson Danny Ricciardo, and Sainz was mainly done in by a rubbish pit stop before still finishing the points. If you look generally speaking this season, McLaren has always been very competitive in medium high-speed corners, and again it is the case here in Austen. But I think if I look at the overall performance this weekend, we have been ahead of them, said Binotto. Ferrari took a lot of flack last year for producing the worst and slowest little black horsey-powered piece of dirt of a car in recent memory. Now that's part of the nasty past though, and the boys in red have done a superb job in getting back up to speed. On paper, it was not a circuit, that Circuit of the Americas, that was suiting obviously our car, so that's why I'm pleased with the progress we have seen. In the last races, certainly helped by the power unit in the quali and the race, and that gives me confidence as well for the next races, added Binotto, and it's hard to argue with a man with a weird hair. Mark my words, the little black horsey will win a race sooner rather than later, and in a season where Alpine and McLaren broke long dry spells, it might even be sooner than we expect. Andretti NOT buying Alfa Romeo. Oh, come on, man. I was looking forward to an American team that wasn't dressed like the Ruski flag, and it seems that it won't happen. Andretti reportedly was expected to pay around $250 million as a bank guarantee and another $350 million for the purchase of the Sauber team or Alfa Romeo team. That's a lot of money for such a mediocre team. Understandably, these amounts were seemingly too much for Andretti, and reportedly the deal seems to be off the table. This has repercussions of course. For instance, who will partner Bottas next year? Will sponsors be put off by the uncertainty over ownership? Maybe it's time for Rich Energy to strike. I should have left before 2018, says Fernando. Interesting and unexpected, this one. For me in any case. Alonso surprised most of us with his ability and pace this season after a long time out of the sport. In 2015, Alonso joined McLaren in what turned out to be one of the worst stint in the constructors' long history. Not a single podium in 4 years was the rubbish result of the partnership, and the legend now says he regrets not leaving earlier to pursue other interesting racing. I should have left in 2015 or 2016, 2 years earlier, to try Dakar and endurance. I already had it in mind in 2015, but it took a while to mature. Maybe too long, said Alonso. Hard to agree with a man that's usually not hard to agree with. All he achieved in that stint at McLaren was to stuff up his career stats. Ecclestone, not a fan of Drive to Survive. Yes, the dinosaur that gave us the Formula 1 we know and love is still around, and he doesn't like Netflix's Drive to Survive. While I'm certain the Netflix board won't hold a special emergency meeting to discuss Bernie's opinion, I still found it quite interesting to see what billionaire Bernie had to say. It's well known that Max Verstappen has recently said that he wanted nothing to do with DTS, which of course is a massive problem for the beloved series, since he may well be the next world champion. Bernie chipped in as well, saying, "I'm a realist and I know it's not going to be very real, so I know how these guys act. And when you see things you know are completely wrong, then maybe I'd get a bit like Max and get a bit upset." Bernie claims to still follow the sport and is very interested in seeing the conclusion to this season's tight title fight. I am however surprised that the man who did so much to market F1 doesn't seem to see the huge marketing asset that Drive to Survive is. Yes, it has led to many irritating DTS, Netflix, F1 experts, but it has also led to a host of new fans and massive exposure in the United States. Sorry billionaire Bernie, but you and Max may be missing the score on this one. Take one for the team, Max. Get back in DTS, it's good for the sport. Thought for the week. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Trust in the Lord, and He will give you the strength to carry on. And that's it. Playing out with some memes like I usually do. Have a laugh, man. You know you need to crack that face sometime today. Hope you enjoy them, and hope that Mexico is as great a race coming up as we experienced in America. God bless and have a great week.